Good evening here, everyone on YouTube. We'll get the net started here in just a minute. So I'll have a video going here. So again, everyone, welcome to the Denver Radio Club YouTube channel. We're going to be streaming some more here in the near future. So let's check things out here. This is Kilo 1 Delta Bravo Charlie K1 DBC. All stations please stand by. The Denver Radio Club Learning Net starts in 5 minutes.
The next commercial crew test mission to the space station, outlining the agency's objectives for deep space exploration and covering the total lunar eclipse on Earth and from space. A few of the stories to tell you about this week at NASA. On May 19th, Boeing's ST.E.M Starliner spacecraft launched from Cape Canaveral Space Force Station in Florida on Orbital Flight Test 2, or OFT-2. The mission is the Starliner's second uncrewed flight to the station for our Commercial Crew program. On May 17th, NASA released a draft set of high-level objectives identifying 50 points that fall under 4 overarching categories of exploration for future Artemis missions to return astronauts to the Moon in preparation for human exploration of Mars. The agency is asking U.S. industry, academia, international communities, and other stakeholders to provide input on these deep space exploration objectives. Learn more at nasa.gov/moon to Mars. The latest episode of our NASA Science Live was all about the total lunar eclipse on the evening of May 15th overnight into May 16th. It featured NASA experts and live views of the eclipse from around the world. Meanwhile, our Lucy spacecraft captured the imagery of the eclipse seen in this time lapse when the traveling spacecraft was about 64 million miles from Earth. It shows Earth on the left and the Moon on the right, which can be seen disappearing into darkness as it passes through Earth's shadow. The Lucy spacecraft is on its way to study Jupiter's Trojan asteroids. Dust on the solar panels of our InSight Mars lander is causing the spacecraft to gradually lose power. As a result, the InSight team anticipates that the lander will become inoperative by the end of this year. InSight, which arrived at Mars in November 2018, has so far detected more than 1,300 Mars quakes and collected information to help improve our understanding of the interiors of rocky planets, including Earth. NASA's Cold Atom Lab, the first ever quantum physics facility aboard the International Space Station, has been used to shape atoms of gas cooled to nearly absolute zero, or about minus 459 degrees Fahrenheit, into extremely thin hollow spheres. This is similar to how liquids behave in microgravity and can't be duplicated on Earth. The accomplishment could lead to new kinds of experiments with a state of matter distinctly different from gases, liquids, solids, and plasmas called a Bose-Einstein condensate, or BEC. In a BEC, scientists can observe the quantum properties of atoms at a scale visible to the naked eye. Our research mission to enable supersonic air travel over land has been renamed Quest. The name, which includes an extra S to represent supersonic, replaces the mission's original name, the Low Boom Flight Demonstration. Through Quest, NASA plans to demonstrate that the X-59 research aircraft can fly faster than sound without generating the loud sonic booms supersonic aircraft typically produce. That's what's up this week at NASA. For more on these and other stories, follow us on the web at nasa.gov/twan.
Hello, here on YouTube. Thanks for watching here. Yep, we've migrated from my personal channel over on K1DBC to the Denver Radio Club, so appreciate everyone being here. Hopefully everyone has been able to make it over here, but if not, I'm sure some questions will come up throughout the net, and we'll address those then. So let's get into this here. This is K1DBC. The DRC Learning Net will start in 1 minute. All stations, please stand by while the repeaters are placed into net mode.
PL off.
Good evening and welcome back to the Denver Radio Club for May 25th, 2022. My name is Daron, K1DBC, Kilo 1 Delta Bravo Charlie, and I am Net Control. This is a great place to learn about ham radio and STEM topics in general. We thankfully have plenty of combined experience and expertise. We meet every Wednesday except the third Wednesday of the month, 7:30 p.m. Mountain Time on 145.490 and 448.625. Both have a negative offset. This net can be broken at any time for emergency or priority traffic by using the word break. Is there any emergency or priority traffic at this time?
W0TX repeater.
You can contact us via email, elmer@w0tx.org. We also live stream and archive our nets on youtube.com/Denver Radio Club. We also have a groups.io/G/ham learning net. This is K1DBC Net Control. We will begin by inviting Elmers only to check in with or without traffic. All Elmers, please check in now.
Alpha 0, Juliet Kilo, AA 0, JK, with traffic, good evening.
All right, that time we had AA0JK, Fred with traffic. Thank you so much for checking in as an Elmer, as always. Again, an Elmer is just somebody with some sort of expertise, some sort of subject matter expert. You don't have to be an expert 10 years on, more or less, but if you have any expertise, if you'd like to check in as an Elmer, whatever it may be, we're taking all check-ins for Elmers only. Please call now with your call sign, your name, and let us know if you have traffic questions. Please call now. Okay, all other check-ins to the net will be taken in alphabetical groups based on the first letter of the suffix of the operator's call sign. That is the first letter after the number in the call sign. If you can, for the call sign at least, please try to use IT phonetics, but also let us know your name and let us know if you have any traffic or questions. If your suffix begins with the letters A through M, Alpha through Mike, please check in now.
Bravo Kilo Sierra, Barbin Wheat Ridge.
Kilo 6 Hotel Juliet Victor,
K6HJV, Tom Arvada, no traffic.
November 0, Echo Yankee Zulu, Jim in South Jeffco, no traffic.
Kilo Foxtrot 0, Juliet India Charlie, KF0JIC, Steve in Denver. This is my first transmission. I just got my license.
Whiskey Alpha 4, Mike Bravo Golf, Bob in Aurora East.
Oh, it was great to hear a new ham out there. KF0JIC. Well, here, make sure to congrats him there. That's awesome to hear. We've had a lot of new hams calling on our nets, which is really awesome. Very cool. Let's see here. This is K1DBC Net Control. We'll go ahead and hold that there for just a minute. Oh, this is last name I'm familiar with, it seems like. All right, that time we had W0BKS Barb. Appreciate you checking in and all your club activities, Barb. K6HJV Tom, thank you for checking in as always. N0EYZ Jim, KF0JIC Steve, first contact and check into a net. Thank you so much for checking into our net. We really do appreciate that, and congrats on new ham. And yeah, we'll probably loop back to you here in just a few minutes here. So super grateful for that. And then we also had WA4 MVG Bob. Thank you also so much for checking in. So thank you all so much for checking in there. Yeah, really appreciate that. This is K1DBC Net Control. Let me drop here for just a moment. All right, this is K1DBC Net Control. Once more, we'll take call suffixes with the letters A through M, Alpha through Mike. If you would like to check into the Denver Radio Club Ham Learning Net, please check in with your name, your call sign, and let us know if you have any traffic questions. Please call now.
Kilo Foxtrot 0, Foxtrot Papa India, Ron in Lakewood, no traffic.
What are we going to put in our to-go boxes here? Let's see. Pretty cool looking radio and some LEDs apparently. All right, this is K1DBC Net Control. That time we had KF0 FPI Ron. Thank you so much for checking in. We'll go ahead and open the whole alphabet, Alpha through Zulu, A through Z. If you'd like to check in to the Denver Radio Club Ham Learning Net, great place to learn about ham radio, STEM topics in general. We're taking all call suffixes A through Z, Alpha through Zulu. Please check in with your call sign, your name, and let us know if you have traffic or questions. Please call now.
November 0, Tango Romeo Papa, Jim in Lakewood. Good evening.
Kilo 0, Yankee Echo Sierra, Ken in Broomfield, no traffic.
This is why I need a digital oscilloscope or something like this. Siglant. This is not cheap stuff, but look at this stuff. Why doesn't my amp work? All this work this guy does. That's crazy. All right, this is K1DBC Net Control. That time I'd like to welcome and acknowledge the following check-ins. N0TRP Jim and K0YES Ken. Again, we're taking all call suffixes, all call signs, A through Z, Alpha through Zulu. If you'd like to check into the Denver Radio Club Ham Learning Net just for the count, or if you have any traffic or questions, please call now.
Lima Alpha India K0LEI, Larry, mobile.
There's your RST report, Larry. You're sounding good for mobile. All right, that time we had K0LAI Larry. Thank you so much for checking in. This is K1DBC Net Control for the Denver Radio Club Ham Learning Net. Might be a little bit of a lighter net this evening, not a problem. There's plenty of stuff to cover, but we have some traffic here. I'll throw it out to the net once more. Is there any other check-ins at the moment? Please call now. All right, this is K1DBC Net Control. New reminder here, again, which is pretty cool. We are now streaming on our official Denver Radio Club channel, youtube.com/Denver Radio Club. So if you can't make the repeater, if you're not licensed, if you, for whatever reason, can't check in over the radio, please check that out. So this gives some additional context for what we're talking about, so check that out. So I am migrating away from my personal YouTube channel, so if you were on the net and try to reach that, you won't see anything other than just redirect kind of a picture to our official channel now. So we're kind of driving things to our official name brand and things like that. But yeah, same thing, just kind of on a different channel. So with that, though, we'll throw it over to Fred, AA0JK, with traffic. The net is yours. Go ahead.
AA0JK, good evening, everyone. And this evening, just wanted to point out, got my latest QST magazine in the mail here. And boy, I tell you, it's got a lot of great stuff here for field day. So I'm quite sure that Jerome is going to be giving this a second look, so to speak. Let's see, what do we got here? Got everything from introducing kids to Morse code with a little Morse code keyer project, and antennas. We got a couple of antennas here that one can put together there. Got one here for 40 and 20 meters, and a omnidirectional VHF antenna for portable use. And let's see, we've got, this is one I'm going to have to check out here, using the field day station locator. Now that ought to be fun and interesting during field day to have that option available to you. And also further back into the magazine, they've got a field day guide. It's got a checklist there on it for some of your contacts here as you're participating in the field day event, probably for keeping track of your points there. So lots of articles of interest here. Great issue here, and this is the June issue. And everyone take a look at this. They've also got a review for the ICOM ID52A dual band transceiver. So great issue, and we're going to be looking forward here to field day. So go Daron, AA0JK.
All right, AA0JK Fred, this is Daron, Net Control, K1DBC. Also, Field Day Chairperson for the Denver Radio Club. Let me drop here for just a moment. All right, yeah, great. Few publications you've mentioned over the last few weeks, whether it be the Elmers session or the Learning Net, the ARL, different magazines, the QST magazine or On the Air magazine. The latest On the Air magazine definitely has a heavy focus on field day here, mapping your way to field day success, field day score, a lot of information on field day, as well as the QST magazine, a lot of articles and publications on that. Yeah, you know, it takes a village, quite frankly, and our club is, we have a lot of dues paying members, but we have a difficult time in general getting people to volunteer and raising their hands to do things. But it takes more than one person to do things. But you know, this year more than ever, we have more of a field day committee, and there's a lot more people involved. So it'll still probably be you know, some learning curves as always. But you know, please W0TX.org/field day. It will redirect you a little bit, but June 25th, 26th, we'd love to have a lot of participation out there. Prospect Arena in Arvada. You know, even if you can't volunteer, come hang out. It's a 24-hour event. We'll be there Friday night to Sunday afternoon. So, you know, whether or not you could participate or however you can participate, please don't hesitate to come hang out, please, because we'd love to have you to participate in that and understand what field day is and what it can mean, because ham radio is quite a lot of things here. So this is K1DBC Net Control. A little bit off my soapbox there. I'll step off that, but I'll probably maybe follow up with a little bit with what field day is a little bit more further. But this is K1DBC Net Control. I'll let you throw it out to the net. Does anybody have any other further comments, questions, check-ins, anything else regards to field day or anything else you'd like to bring up so far this evening? Please call now. All right, this is K1DBC Net Control. As Fred mentioned also, the Field Day Locator, ARL.org Field Day Locator, you can Google that and you can get a nice Google map of all the field days occurring around you. So we are the most central location to Denver, and then you'll have probably your different QRP clubs, it looks like, and probably Parker Radio Club and all sorts of the Ski County Amateur Radio Club, SCARC, if you hadn't heard of them. There's a lot of clubs, Pikes Peak Amateur Radio Association. So it's a little bit of a drive throughout the state, but if you want, you can kind of experience quite a lot of different clubs and different things throughout that day. So this is K1DBC Net Control. I'll throw it out to this net. I'll probably take official check-ins here in a few minutes, but I'll throw it to net. Any other further comments, questions, check-ins, anything else for this evening's net so far? Please call now. You guys make me talk too much. I don't. Just kidding. All right, this is K1DBC Net Control for the Denver Radio Club Ham Learning Net. Again, we're streaming on youtube.com/Denver Radio Club. I'm presenting video and some things that give better context to what we're talking about. So check that out if you want. I don't see anybody else had any other further comments or questions at the moment. I can bring quite a few things up, but we have another 40 minutes or so at least for this evening's net. Does anybody have any further comments, questions, check-ins, anything else so far for this evening's net? Please call now.
LAI.
Yeah, K0LAI. Larry, go ahead.
I was just wondering if anybody had gone back east to the ham bench in Dayton/Xenia. I've seen some YouTube videos of some things. I just wonder if anybody physically went from here. Okay.
All right, great question there, LAI. Yeah, no, I feel our club members went there. I think N0XRX, Mark, as well as potentially our club president went there as well, Jerry, W0GV. A0JK Fred with follow-up. Go ahead.
Yeah, that's what I was going to mention was Jerry just got back from making the long trip out there, so we're going to be looking for some feedback from him as how things all went out there. So be looking forward to that. Back to net control, AA0JK.
All right, sounds good there, A0JK Fred. This is K1DBC Net Control, Daron. Yeah, just looking at some video here as well. Hey, look there, it's WB6NOA. What's his face there? Gordon West there. So, yeah, you know, some of our fests are a little bit sleepy. There's a few people that show up, but it's just not. I don't know. I'll throw it out to the net. Did anybody else make it out there potentially to the Hamvention, Dayton Hamvention? Go ahead, please call now. All right, this is Daron, K1DBC Net Control. Looking at a video here from Ham Radio Outlet YouTube channel. Ham Radio Outlet, we have quite a lot of those around the country here, and we're grateful to have one here, which is great. Yeah, often these times are just these conventions or, you know, just people selling things or different vendors putting on different booths, things like that. And yeah, it's... once you've seen, when you maybe seen all of them potentially, so unfortunately, but you know, yeah, I if anybody has anything to say about Dayton Hamvention potentially, you visited it, or any other further comments or questions on that, go ahead. This is K1DBC Net Control. I don't know if I have the gallery right now, but there was a pretty good gallery of the flea market. They had a pretty big flea market. That's also another big part of it. As mentioned, let's see. I mean, there's just some pretty interesting stories about the past convention arena they were in. Unfortunately, it was taken down by a tornado and some weather like that. But yeah, if you had any, you know, contact with people there, or took any photos, or have any other follow-up on that, let us know. Well, I guess that, Larry, is a response to your question there. Apparently not at the moment. So I'm sure there were some members that did follow up with that. You know, we're trying to make some strides as our club ourselves to make it possible for people to kind of post media to things like that, to our social media, maybe to make it easier to share these kinds of things. But I don't know. Yeah, I'll throw it back out once more at the net. Does anybody have any other comments, questions, check-ins, anything else about Dayton Hamvention or anything else? Please call now. All right, this is K1DBC Net Control. I'll throw it out to the net. I have a few things I can bring up, but we have another half hour, 45 minutes or so. Hamvention is a pretty big activity. It's one of the largest. Let's see what they say here. Not even on their thing, but it's on the YouTube. No. This is K1DBC Net Control. It's just one of the largest ham fests within the country. So, yeah, if you did attend it or any other ham fests throughout the year, don't hesitate to let us know, please, because we'd love to see kind of what other hams are selling out there, what other people are using, what's going on. So, yeah, just checking in again, video from here from Ham Radio Outlet. All right, this is K1DBC Net Control. I have a few things to bring up here, some random articles, since there's a little bit quieter, a little bit of quiet here. He may have been ham, I'm not sure, but Silent Key, Bob Peace, SAR of band gaps, and his analog design legacy. Article here on allaboutscircuits.com, May 18th, by Jake Hertz. The field of analog design was propelled into the future thanks to inspiring, intelligent, and sometimes quirky leaders. One pioneer leading the pack was Bob Peace. Many infamous electrical engineers pioneered the world of analog design. Take Bob Widlar, for example. Another well-known and influential engineer carving out the analog space is another Bob Peace, to be exact. They go into say, starting off his career steeped into analog design, born in Rockville, Connecticut, received his BS in electrical engineering from Massachusetts MIT in '61. Went on to work for analog design engineer George A. Philbreck Research. He had his first experience to the analog world. 71, Peace moved to California to work as a design and applications engineer at the National Semiconductor Corporation, now known as Texas Instruments. At TI, his excellence was evident in all his work and quickly became the face of the company. He was directly involved in creating some of the most analog integrated circuits of all time, including the LM331 and LM337. So this article goes on to speak more about that. So Silent Key, unfortunately now, Bob Peace, but SAR of band gaps and his analog design legacy. All right, this is K1DBC Net Control. I'll throw it out to the group here. You know, this is it's about ham radio, electrical engineering, STEM, STEAM, about our club. If you have any questions about any of that, our club, I'd really love to have more transparency with our some of our committees and some of the things that we're meeting with now. If you have any questions on that, please let me know.
TRP with a quick question.
Yeah, N0TRP, go ahead.
So I was just trying to log into the ARL. Now, did they set up a new login password thing where everybody's got to redo their login? N0TRP.
That's correct. N0TRP, this is K1DBC Net Control. Yeah, it doesn't seem like it maybe at first glance, but once you do log out, they have a new login system that allows for two-factor authentication. There's basically a new security system. So if you hadn't logged out or logged in within the last 3 or 4 months, they do have a new system for that. So you do need to basically, if you already have an ARL login, you still need to register again, and it'll you can match the same password you had before, but it'll still allow you to log into the ARL website.
Okay, great. Thank you much. N0TRP.
Maybe. All right. All right, this is K1DBC Net Control for the Denver Radio Club Ham Learning Net. Perfect. Does there anybody else have any other comments, questions, check-ins, anything else for this evening's net so far? Please call now.
AA0JK.
All right, AA0JK, Fred, go ahead.
W0TX repeater.
Yeah, just a comment concerning silent keys. We hate to lose our mentors and our fellow hams. Just got news that a close friend that helped me along the way and was also my co-operator when I was out in the Mariana Islands. He got me into Navy Mars, and we kind of shared the facility there on the Naval Air Station. W0 OWR, Don LeFabre. He retired as a E9 Master Chief in the United States Navy. He was into aviation electronics, but a real loss here when we lose one of our mentors here. So just comment here concerning silent keys. A great loss for me. AA0JK.
All right, is your JK Fred. This is Daron K1DBC. Yeah, you know, as is life. You know, it's how the world works. But yeah, you know, as some pass, you know, others great become. So yeah, silent key W80 or OWR here. Donald LeFabre, retired United States Navy Master Chief Avionics Tech. So yeah. Along that as well, I guess, you know, a little bit of a somber tone here this evening, I guess, but John Burkett as well, parts vendor extraordinaire here, proprietor of legendary eponymous radio and electronics store on Assuming Street in British city of London, age of 93, has been a fantastic source of esoteric parts and electronic assemblies for many decades. So Jay Burkett, radio component supplies here. Yeah, another interesting thing here. You know, it's yeah. So as time goes on, we see these people on to the best and the greater good, and you know, yeah, very cool. So this is K1DBC Net Control. A little bit somber note here this evening, but. If anybody else has any other comments, questions, check-ins, anything else for this evening's net so far, please call now.
WD0CIV, WD0CIV, just checking in. No traffic.
All right, WD0CIV, Charles, got you checked in, not a problem. Yeah, I guess at this point I'll take official check-ins. Does anybody have, if anybody would like to check into the Denver Radio Club Ham Learning Net? It's a great place to learn about ham radio, STEM topics. We have a lot of experience and expertise, and this hobby covers a lot of things. So if you'd like to check in over the air, please call now. All right, this is K1DBC Net Control. I have a few things I can throw out to the net for this evening in terms of news and related things, but we have another half hour or so. I'll throw it once more out to the Denver Radio Club Ham Learning Net here. Into the group, does anybody else have any comments, questions, check-ins, anything else so far for this evening's net? Please call now. All right, this is K1 DBC Net Control. A few bits of traffic I can pass, but I'll drop in between and call for any comments or questions. So this is K1 DBC Net Control, popular blog I like to read here, hackaday.com. Article titled When Hams Helped Polar Researchers Come In From the Cold, written by Al Williams on May 17th. He goes in to say that this recent YouTube video here by the history guy goes in and shows the backdrop is the International Geophysical Year, IGY, where many nations cooperated to learn more about the Earth. In particular, from 1957 to 1958, there was a push to learn more about the last unexplored corner of our planet, Antarctica. Several of the permanent bases on the icy continent today were started during the IGY, International Geophysical Year. It's hard for modern audiences to appreciate what the state of personal communication was in 1957. As we sit here, this is me, as we sit here talking on ham radio. So this is funny stuff here. So there were no cell phones, and if you thinking about satellites, Sputnik didn't launch until 1957. Operation Deep Freeze had 10 U.S. Navy vessels that brought scientists, planes, and Seabees, slang for members of the Naval Construction Battalion. About 1,800 people in all over several years, culminating in the IGY. The Navy had radio capabilities, but it wasn't like the Navy to let you just call home to chat. Not to mention a little more than 100 people were left for each winter and Navy ships went home. That's where ham radios came in. Let me drop here for a moment. Another couple paragraphs, they go on to say hams would do what is called a phone patch, as we know, for people stationed in Antarctica. Some hams also send radiograms to and from the crews and family. Pretty interesting story here over on hackaday.com when hams helped polar researchers come in from the cold. This is K1 DBC Net Control. I'll ask for any comments, questions, anything we've spoken about so far, or anything else. Please call now. All right, this is K1 DBC Net Control, looking at the video YouTube channel for Radio Club of America. Not to be confused with Radio Corporation of America. But Radio Club of America has a pretty interesting video here. Supply chain panel. So they have a little bit of a brief history on incomplete history of outsourcing and cartels within the United States and how we got things going. And, you know, they probably go into how we are, where we're at now and why we're at the supply chain shortages we're seeing now. So, we're in a really interesting era where, COVID's kind of passed a little bit, but we're still seeing a lot of a downfall from that and from a lot of other things here. So, really interesting video here. Radio Club America supply chain video here. Quick description on that video is the discussion focuses on the small to medium-sized electronics companies that are struggling with supply chain issues. Panelists presented specific ideas on handling issue. They range from companies Celio, ICOM, DX Engineering, and a few others here. So, Radio Club of America.
W0TX repeater.
I probably have a few other things, but I'll throw it out to the net. This is Daron K1 DBC Net Control. We can talk about Field Day. We could talk about Hamfest. We could talk about anything you guys want here. There's a lot we got going on here. So I'll throw it back out to the group. This is K1DBC Net Control. Does anyone else have any other comments, questions, check-ins, anything else you'd like to bring up so far for this evening's net? Please call now.
AA0JK.
Yeah, AA0JK, Fred, go ahead.
Speaking of a little bit of history here, the amateur radio community really contributes a lot and never seems to really get much credit for a lot of what the creative hams produce. One particular item that always keeps coming to mind is the next time you look at your cell phone. The amateur radio club down in Tucson decided to start using repeaters many years back. And when that proved to be very productive and successful, naturally, when the big communication companies recognized what the hams were doing, all of a sudden they decided to step in and start using repeaters, and that has all grown into what now you have in the palm of your hand when you're using a cell phone. Basic roots of your cell phone, amateur radio. Also, when you look at all those numbers on the weather net, when you check the weather on your TV, a lot of that information comes from ham radio operators that get up in the early morning hours, check their weather instruments, and call into the National Weather Bureau via a net control, kind of like what we've got going here. A net control operator collects the information, passes it on to the National Weather Service, and those numbers get relayed to the broadcast facilities, and then you see them on your TV. But naturally, you never hear about the ham radio community getting credit for all their input. Anyhow, speaking of history of amateur radio and its contributions, AA0JK.
All right, AA0JK, Fred, this is K1DBC Net Control. Yeah, absolutely. Skywarn program, and even previous to that, potentially goals of amateur radio Skywarn to have a network of spotters in place to repeat severe weather, activate this network as needed, coordinate reports from spotters in professional manner, and relay those reports to National Weather Service in timely manner. Yeah, even before cell phones, and I guess maybe it sounds like amateur radio potentially helped model the cell phone service potentially, but yeah, it's amateur radio operators are often unsung, unseen, and it's it's unfortunate, but we are there's a lot of us out there, and we definitely contribute a lot to the greater society in general. So yeah, very, very cool there, Fred. A0JK. All right, this is K1DBC Net Control. Very much like the plumbing or the electrics in a house, we're unseen, but we provide an immeasurable service, and if those things weren't there, things wouldn't happen. So, don't hesitate to let people know that ham radio has a lot of history, and we have a lot of things going on, and very, very cool stuff here. This is K1DBC Net Control. Speaking of history, we really haven't brought this page up very often here. This is W0TX.org/history. I'll drop here for a moment. Some history of ours. Mountain States Radio Association in Denver was forerunner of the Denver Radio Club, Inc. First election of officers was held in January 19th, 1917. First president was Donald L. Clark, 9ADH. Colorado was part of the District 9 at that time. During World War II, that group organized the Denver Radio Club with Bob White, W0PDA, as president, and Walt Reed, W0WRO, as vice president. First meeting was held in an old carriage barn in Denver. All the locations were in a basement of radio product sales, West High School, Public Service Company, quite a few locations here. One of them is a Mile High Red Cross, which is interesting now that we're formed with Salvation Army. But 59, Walt and Bob prepared Denver Radio Club history covering the period to World War II. Let me drop here for a moment. In 1959, Walt and Bob prepared a Denver Radio Club history covering the period prior to World War II, through the war years, and into post-war rejuvenation. Unfortunately, the records of this bit of history were lost in the 1965 flood when Chet Peterson's K0FXE print shop materials went down the South Platte River. The rounded table was originally a mimeographed 8x11 sheet and took its present form as club publication in 56. Then printer John Cox, K0RS. So really, really cool stuff here. Our club logo was originated by Miriam Juza, XYL of Marvin, W6FGD, W0FFY. Let me drop here once more. Further on to say about our logo, club logo, Sparky, Miriam was looking for something to put on Marv's letterheads. And as a surprise for him, she drew Sparky, possibly in 56, during the presidency of Carl Smith, BWJ. Permission was given to the club for its use, as that was the year of its first appeared on the club's publication, The Round Table. The original design of Sparky riding a light bulb and holding a code key, here we go right here, has not been changed. But other alterations have been made in past years, namely the addition of Denver Radio Club encircling him and coat of arms by Roy Rainey, K0OVQ. So there's some Denver Radio Club history for you. Pretty interesting stuff there. There's definitely a lot more, I'm sure, that's not here. We really need to dig that up and make it more public for us. So this is Daron K1DBC Net Control for the Denver Radio Club. I'll go ahead and drop and ask for any comments, questions, check-ins, anything else for this evening's net. Please call now.
Comment?
Yeah, go ahead with the comment there.
Thank you, sir. I would just like to check in. I just was browsing up and down the radio scale here. My name is Mike. I'm just north of Golden. My call sign's KF0CLS. Then I was just impressed with the history there that you were giving out, and thank you for your input.
W0TX repeater.
All right, this is K1DBC Net Control, KF0CLS. Mike, thank you so much for checking in. Yeah, I got you checked in, and yeah, I really appreciate that. Yeah, W0TX.org/history. Hopefully, we can contribute a little bit more to that. I know in our previous club newsletters, the known as the Round Table, we've had some previous issues from past newsletters as well. So I'm sure, hopefully, going forward, we'll try to dig up some more club history. So KF0CLS, yeah, definitely appreciate that check-in. And yeah, there's a lot of club history, and I'm sure a lot of history within ham radio and all the different clubs around here. So if you have any history, or if anyone else has any history within this club or any other clubs, don't hesitate to let us know, email or however it may be. So this is K1DBC Net Control. I'll put it back out to the net. Any other further comments, questions, check-ins, or anything else, please call now. All right, this is K1DBC Net Control. Yeah, right at the top there of our webpage, providing amateur radio services to the Denver area since 1917. Our club, W0TX Denver Radio Club. So there's a lot of history, I'm sure. And our club is going through a little bit of changes now, even nowadays, and our website's changing a little bit. Our club's changing a little bit. So hopefully we'll be seeing a little bit more put to light in terms of where we were 100 years ago or so. So this is Denver Radio Club, or this is K1DBC Net Control for the Denver Radio Club Ham Learning Net. We have another 10-15 minutes or so. No hard stop to this evening's net, but great place to learn about ham radio STEM topics. So I'm sure I can bring up a couple things, but if anybody has any comments or questions, please call now.
Maybe a little bit off topic. This is Mike, just north of Golden, KF0CLS. I was just curious as to your location.
No problem at all. KF0CLS. This is K1DBC Net Control. I'm located around Broadway and Sherman in South Broadway, Inglewood, Colorado, around Hamden and Santa Fe area.
It's a fairly impressive signal. Thank you, sir.
All right, appreciate that. Thank you so much there, KF0CLS, for the signal report. Yeah, definitely appreciate that. Yeah, I'm just using 5 watts on a A2 FD70D antenna on a 25-foot mast, not too far off the ground. But yeah, have pretty good coverage to our repeater. Repeater on I forget what it is, but yeah, pretty good coverage of the Denver metro area here in general, just our repeater in general. So yeah, really, really cool stuff there. Appreciate that. Thank you so much. All right, this is K1DBC. Yeah, it's a repeater based up on Centennial Cone. Yeah, just outside the Denver metro area. But yeah, thankfully, because of the elevated region for those repeaters, yeah, we have really, really good coverage. So yeah, this is K1DBC Net Control. Yeah, any other comments, questions, check-ins, anything else so far for this evening's net? Please call now. All right, this is K1DBC Net Control. Weekly reminder, W0TX.org for more info on our club. Upcoming meeting June 15th. Presentation is Skin Effect, presented by John, W6NBC. We also present all these things online on youtube.com/Denver Radio Club, excuse me. So if you missed that, check that out on there. Our field day is coming up, June 25th, 26th, as we've spoken about. We'd love to have you out there over at Prospect Arena. It's a ham radio's open house every June. More than 40,000 hams throughout North America set up temporary transmitting stations in public places to demonstrate ham radio's science and skills service to our communities and nation. Combines public service, emergency preparedness, community outreach, and technical services all in a single event. So we'd love to have you out there. It's a pretty quiet event for our club, but we'd love to have any and all operators, whether you're licensed or not, member or not. Please don't hesitate to come out. Prospect Arena in Arvada, June 25th and 26th. W0TX.org/field day for more information. This is K1DBC Net Control. Another great blog to read that we've brought up in the past, rtl-sdr.com. A lot of great blogs and articles to read out about software-defined news and projects. Let me drop here once more. Cornucopia of recent articles here. Playing classic games over amateur radio with NPR 70 TCP/IP modems over on her YouTube channel, Signals Everywhere. Sarah's uploaded a new video that shows how TCP/IP connections can be made over amateur radio using low-cost modems that operate in the 70 centimeter amateur bands. So really, really cool stuff here. TCP/IP connection available. It is possible to play early 2000s and 1990s games over amateur radio. So, you know, if you don't have internet, you can still play multiplayer games. Pretty fun stuff here. Another crazy aspect here of amateur radio is radio astronomy. Article titled Pulsar B0329 plus 54 detected with a 1.9 meter dish and software-defined radio. Over the years, Job has been constantly surprising them with amateur radio astronomy. His latest work, Detect This Pulsar. He writes is a pulsar approximately 3,460 light years away in the constellation of Camillopardis. It completes one rotation every 0.71 seconds and is approximately 5 million years old. Everything indicates that he has been able to detect the pulsar with a radio telescope. Dish has 1.9 meters, which would make it the first time this pulsar has been detected with a dish of that size. As far as they could tell, the result was obtained thanks to the help of software of Michael Klassen. So crazy stuff here. As citizen scientists, we can do quite a lot. So in the age of disinformation, you know, don't hesitate to understand that we can measure a lot more than the average citizen thinks that we can. So this is K1DBC Net Control. I'll throw it back out to the net. Any other further comments, questions, check-ins, anything else for this evening's net, please call now. All right, this is K1DBC Net Control. We just have a few more minutes here in the net. I can bring up another story or two, but if anybody has any other further comments or questions, check-ins, any comments, anything for this evening's net, please call now.
W0TX repeater.
This is K1DBC Net Control. I'd always encourage people to read the blog hackaday.com. A lot of articles about electrical engineering, computer science, mechanical engineering, a lot of different engineering topics. They have a podcast as well that covers a lot of their articles. So, yeah, this is the same article here, Homebrew Radio Telescope Bags Pulsar. So, really interesting stuff here as well. This is K1DBC Net Control. I'll throw it out to net. Anything else in the last few minutes here? Please call now. This is K1DBC Net Control for the Denver Radio Club Ham Learning Net. There's probably quite a few things, but I just don't have it. Let's see. Let's see. Really, real quick here. Ready Kilowatt. Ready Kilowatt. You may have heard of that. Is a cartoon character that served as a corporate spokesman for electricity generation in the United States and other countries for over 7 decades. Currently trademarked, owned by Excel Energy. Just talking about old old trademark and photos and images like that. So Ready Kilowatt, stick figure whose body, limbs, and hair are made of stylized lightning bolts. Made by, first published 1926, Birmingham News. Let's see, it was really interesting stuff there. So if you've ever heard that term, Ready Kilowatt, REDDY kilowatt, KILOWATT, random article there. That might be one of the last few things I pass here for this evening, but any other things for this evening's net, please call now. All right, this is K1DBC Net Control. I don't have much more else for this evening's net. I can just let you know that the Denver Radio Club definitely appreciates all help that everyone can give. This is all a voluntary organization. Anything that you can do for this club, we definitely help. We definitely appreciate. It may go unthanked, but we have 450 plus dues paying members. Whether you can help with running a net, or helping with a meeting, or helping with whatever it can be, please don't hesitate to reach out. We're trying to grow as a club. So if you have anything you'd like to be involved with the club, please don't hesitate to let us know. W0TX.org/officers. You can go ahead and see our current club officers, staff, volunteers, things like that. Some open positions there, and there's always things in motion. So this is K1DBC Net Control. This will be the final call. Any last-minute comments, questions, check-ins for this evening's net, please call now.
JK.
Yeah, A0JK. Fred, go ahead.
Yeah, I occasionally see a couple of hams come up there on your screen. Do they have call letters?
This is K1DBC Net Control. I'm not too sure which ones you're speaking about in particular. If somebody left a comment and I missed it, I do apologize about that on the YouTube. But in terms of check-ins, if people checked in, I tried to grab their call signs. If I brought somebody up throughout the net, I tried to bring up their call sign potentially. But if you had anybody in particular, let me know.
Yeah, you were scanning on your screen there. A couple of porkies there were overlooking some ham radio.
All right, A0JK Fred. Yeah, this is K1DBC Net Control. We did actually have a late check-in here online, KE0DJK. David, really do appreciate you checking in here online over the YouTube. Really do appreciate that. Fred was mentioning here these little piggies here. Yeah, little hams playing with some HD radios. So always great to see that. I'm sure they have some names. I don't know on them in particular. Let's see if they say something here. Pigs on the Air, POTA. Bale pigs, maybe, crispy bacon, maybe, hamming it up, I'm sure this is probably just a meme post, but, always good stuff to see here. So, good stuff there, A0JK Fred. This is, K1DBC Net Control. Again, appreciate the late check-ins, everyone checking in here. I'll do one last final check-in. Any other final check-ins, comments, questions for this evening's net over the air or over YouTube, please call now.
If there's any question, this is KF0CLS Mike, just north of Golden.
Yeah, KF0CLS, go ahead.
Just if there was any question whether I had a call sign or not, that's my call sign.
Gotcha, no problem. KF0CLS, Mike. This is Net Control K1DBC. Yeah, he was over on the YouTube here. We're just showing some photos of two little piglets here sniffing at a ham radio. So just nothing too crazy. Just referring to some pictures here on the screen. No problem. So yeah, definitely appreciate the follow up there. So yeah, with that, this is Daron K1DBC. Definitely appreciate everyone joining us here over on the YouTube, Denver, youtube.com/Denver Radio Club. If you hadn't visited that before, I had been streaming in the past on my YouTube channel, but I've been putting up some playlists. So if you want to view a couple of years of videos of these nets, these meetings, you can see that there. So I'm going to be editing those slightly, but you should be able to see meetings, Elmer sessions, learning nets, weekly nets, and different activities that we've done here. So if you missed any of that, please check that out. Don't hesitate to email us, Elmer at W0TX.org, W0TX.org, or W0TX at W0TX.org. You can email me at K1DBC at W0TX.org. There's plenty of information, plenty of places to contact us out there. Let me drop and provide any final information here. Yeah, tonight we had a total of 13 check-ins. Really do appreciate that. Thank our Elmers. Thank the Denver Radio Club for allowing us to use the repeaters. Join us the third Wednesday of the month, 6 p.m. for an Elmer session, very similar to this evening's Learning Net. And then after that is at 7 p.m. is our club meeting. They currently take place online, W0TX.org for more info. Licensed or not, member or not, everyone is welcome. So please check that out. Join us next week, 7:30 p.m. for the next Learning Net. All stations, please stand by while the repeaters are placed into normal mode.
PL on.
All right, this is K1DBC, Drone Net Control. Definitely appreciate everyone being here. Keep your comments, questions, check-ins coming in, no matter where you're at in the world. So we definitely appreciate everyone coming in here and checking things out. So, on the YouTube, I'll play a couple minutes of a video outro here. But with that, please, again, see our website and check things out. So 7-3 to all, I am clear. K1DBC. All right.
JK, K0DIQ.
Let's play this and go out here.
AA0.
All right, thanks everyone, and check this out. And this is Advanced Manufacturing by let's see, Adafruit Engineering.
Footage.
Pick and place machine here. We're seeing some underneath soldering, which is kind of cool stuff here. Usually a little bit more music in the background here. Looking at a print and place machine here, or excuse me, a pick and place machine. It's picking up parts from a reel and placing them into different PCB boards and then soldering them. But this is manufacturing done here within the United States, so pretty cool stuff here. This is their e-ink display. E-ink requires very low power and can display an image for quite a long time. So, usually a little bit more music during this, but it's not your video player. Oh, there you go. Of course, it's super loud there. Jesus. Raspberry Pi SD cards.
And it would be main New York City factory footage. Unless you saw this cute little forklift.
Oh, look at how cute that is.
In the Disney building. It's building it from the inside.
Oh, it's up
And what
and
used to be a
down.
clear sign of the clear side of the horizon there was now a city building. So Disney building. So yeah, Denver Radio Club on YouTube. This is Daron K1DBC. Definitely appreciate everyone checking things out here on here. Yeah. So with that, we'll see you all next week. Have a good evening.